And it's time for things you might ought to know for today. Today happens to be the 26th, a Thursday here in 2024. And these are some fun things for the day: birthdays, history lessons, and a day to celebrate popping up here, coming up here. This is a supplement to the things you might not have heard. The news story thing we did live a moment ago that is actual news from the past day. These are things that we already know. We have a list of things that went through, and hopefully I picked the ones that will pique your interest, including the birthdays, always first, with the fun ones on the day. The trio of birthday celebrators for this day include that lady in the teaser graphic who, of course, not quite the Terminator, but pretty darn close. It is Linda Hamilton, who is 67 years old. Yes, she's done other things. Yes, she was pretty hot for what she was doing before the Terminator, but essentially becoming Sarah Connors is essentially changed her life because now she is Sarah Connors. That's who she is. She is the mother of John Connors, and she's a mother of the guy who sent the Terminator back to fix life and whatever. And even though that timeline's been overly done and overly redone or overly rewritten 3 or 4 times in the fact of the movies, because Terminator movies are moneymakers, so you got to keep making them, even if they don't make sense. Linda Hamilton is celebrating a big birthday this day on 67 today. Also love to Jim Caviezel, best known for playing Jesus-like characters and Jesus himself. He is 56 years old on the day. And much love to tennis ace Serena Williams, 43 years old today. Happy birthday to the trio of birthdays on this September 26th. Let's move on to our history lesson. Things that happened on this day, back in the days. We always talk about the Beverly Hillbillies because it's one of the more fun things. And it's one of those things that, because of reruns, doesn't really get the love it does for this generation. And because you can't really redo this one, there was a time about a decade ago where they wanted to do a Beverly Hillbillies level style of reality show where they find people who didn't know much about technology and put them in the house and make them do stuff. Then they realized it was kind of I guess it was not so much racist, but just sort of classist, because pretty much everybody by 2010 had a smartphone and knew what the internet was and could Google stuff or knew what it was and could joke about it in the Facebook and things like that. Doing something this crass, the fact that the Beverly Hillbillies, they called their pool a concrete pond and they didn't know what electricity was for a bit. Granny would make moonshine in the backyard. No, it's kind of insulting. But the show itself, it's hilarious for the times, and if you can find it someplace and your kids will watch it with you because they won't know what the hell's going on, it is a hoot. 1990, the Motion Picture Association of America announced it had created a new rating called NC-17, designed to bar moviegoers under age 17 from certain films without commercial stigma of the old X rating, should say. NC-17 made things more artsy, so adults could go see things that were not meant to be explicit in a way that they were, pornographic. That's a word I have troubles with, pornographic, but had some really not so great stuff in it. Essentially, stories like the Saw movies, things like that, when they originally came out, had a thought process that they were really gruesome, and beyond the fact that they weren't so much pornographic, just so gruesome that they needed some sort of extra rating on there to make it safer for people to go see the shows. Now those things are relatively tame, if you will, but it was announced to us back in 1990. Also on this day in 2017, rejoice. Video game Fortnite Battle Royale was released on this day, September 26th, back in 2017. We try to do some positive things here and learn some stuff. Starting off with our word for the day. You can find more about words for the day at our website, thebigwordsproject.com. And you can also find out words a day by buying books, Big Words You Have to Know, which gives charity donations of $1 for each book to reading programs in my adopted home state of Arkansas. Today's word, duende. Duende. What does duende mean? It is charm. It is magnetism. Used in a sentence, the singer's performance was imbued with such duende that it left the audience utterly captivated, unable to look away for even a moment. Duende. Try to use that in your vocabulary today. See who will have the duende, or maybe you will include that duende out there today. Try to use it, see how it works. Let us know how it worked out for you. We also have our affirmation for today. Our daily affirmation is this. It's a bit of a long one, so roll with me. I am at peace with my past and looking forward to my future. And this affirmation can help you reduce negative feelings in yourself. This affirmation helps to mitigate negative feelings related to past experiences, allowing you to approach the future with a clear and positive mindset. If you are stuck walking around with a big dark cloud over your head and just feeling all this gloom and doom, find a way to say, I'm at peace, and to shoo that cloud away will help you find a way to look forward to what's going to happen. It doesn't guarantee everything in the future is going to be bright, but it does say that your future is your future and you can make amends on whatever's in the past. Your past doesn't drag you down for what actions will come to you in the future. More on this and affirmations. This week we're actually using my affirmations as my sponsor. So we'll talk more about the affirmations in the sponsorship segment here for the show. But first, let's have a celebration. We're going to talk about one of my favorite holidays, partially because of the name and partially because it seems like it's out of date these days. But I don't know how many of your kids, I'm sure my kid has not gone through the stories of tall tales and things like we did back in my generation, back in my day in school. Today is Johnny Appleseed Day. The 26th of September, the nation celebrates National Johnny Appleseed Day, honoring the man who made apples and pears and those types of fruit trees grow heavily on the bounty of the fruits, heavily grow heavy with the bounty of their fruits all across most of the country. A real man named John Chapman, born on September 26, 1774, literally 200 years ago. Well, 200 years with the it's his birthday. His birthday is today. He was born in Leominster, Massachusetts, and he took a trek across the nation, literally planting apple seeds across the nation, in what really wasn't much of a nation at the time. But because of him, there are apples and pears and fruit bearing trees in various parts of the nation because he took what apples were on the East Coast and took them down the line. Not the most exquisite explanation of Johnny Appleseed Day. I should give him more props because I just love this thing. Um, it's just what they did. It's interesting. So check it out. Check out links for Johnny Appleseed Day and more on Johnny Appleseed Day, and eat an apple to not only keep the doctor away, but to celebrate my boy Johnny Appleseed. Let's move on to the actual salesy part of the part. And today we're selling me or selling my book, or selling affirmations, if you will. And affirmations aren't as hard of a sale as you think, but you have to sort of have an open mind to see how they work for you and work in general. You have to have a bit of faith, bit of a suspension of belief, if you will. Same thing that lets you believe that, space monsters can come down and attack the globe, and Godzilla and King Kong will join forces and fight them off. It's sort of the same way you have to believe that affirmation will rewire your brain, because it's like turning your frown upside down. You have to do it, and it has some weird effect to make it work. You can find yourself in better spirits, find yourself more positive, find yourself with more confidence by repeating something to yourself. Athletes do it all the time. They say these things to themselves as they're gearing up for game day, and they repeat their mantras going back and forth. It brings people peace. If they need something that's keeping them stressed out, they repeat something over again that reminds them of why peace is there, why they should have peace. And affirmation is the same thing. I have a book with 100 different affirmations, and each affirmation has 5 different reasons on why they can work for you. So check it out, if you will. 100 daily affirmations for positivity and confidence. You can find it at Amazon and with the link that we have in this presentation. Kindle book price is $5. The paperback is 10, and you can search for 100 affirmations pain anywhere you do books online, because we're in all the bookstores. If you're not a fan of Amazon, you can get it at Barnes and Noble or someplace else. Just search for 100 affirmations and pain. We need you to do a couple things for us as well, like the show, so more people can see what it is and why it's worth watching. Share it with other folks so those people can see what it is and why it's worth watching. And subscribe if you saw if you saw it was liked and clicked on it, or someone shared it with you and you watched it and you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share the video so we have more people, one, in the conversations we have, and also just to get the information and knowledge going forward. Some days are better than others. This has been sort of a longish week, so I may sound a little tired and haggard. Plus, we've been dealing with some technology stuff. So hopefully all things are clear. My lips are in sync with my voice. I think I got a clip of something saying that the sound was off in something today. We will see how things work out going forward. But we'll see going forward, because we're pushing back the negativity and looking forward to the forward for Friday as we're wrapping up our Thursday. September 26th edition of Things You Might Ought to Know. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and yes, we'll change the chirons, we'll change the look on things. We had to put some equipment in and kind of get to work type stuff. So we're doing the best we can what we have, making it as appealing as possible. If you want to comment on how appealing it is, you can always email us at conversation inbox at gmail.com for whatever it is you're looking for. And of course, if you're following us for the Conversations major program, which is things you might not have heard, what you see in the video chiron there, we simply go follow our feeds on Facebook, on X, and on Threads, and you can see what's going on. Visit our website, thisisconversationproject.com, for more details on what's going on. And also consider being a partner and a sponsor and checking out sponsors. Those links are there as well. We're done for the day. Let's get on to getting on. Lots of things to do, lots of buttons to press, lots of other things to pre-produce and post-produce. So let's get to it. Have a great Thursday. Enjoy it. We'll see you again here in some fashion, whether live or recorded, on Friday.